Calling, you need to unmute.
Hello?
Yep. Tell me about yourself, buddy, please.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, hi, Vajra. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to intro myself. My name is
Okay.
Kalingraj.
Wait. Don't thank in the beginning. There is no reason.
Okay, okay,
Restart.
okay. My name is Kalingraj. I'm from Coimbatore. I'm working as automation test engineer at Vitusa. So, yeah, Vajra, I'm in a room. Vajra, my child is getting right.
Your child is getting shy or you are getting shy?
No. My child is getting cried. He's sleeping, so I'm not.
Just talk slowly.
Wait 1 second, Vajra. I will come outside of him.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come out. Do we need to still wait? We can wait. No problem. Team, give him some time. That's absolutely fine.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Vajra, am I
Ready?
audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sorry, Vajra, for the delay.
No problem. We can wait. Tell me.
Yeah, hi, Vajra. This is Kalingraj from Coimbatore. I'm working as an automation test engineer at Vitusa. My total work experience is 1.10 months of years of experience in both automation and manual test engineer. And then now I'm seeking a job to get a role in RPA developer. So that's what Vajra, from my
Okay, let's see. First point. Don't showcase yourself as a test engineer.
okay.
Showcase yourself as a developer. We are learning only development here, right? Not testing.
Yes. Okay.
Don't do it. Second thing, I've said you clearly, your tell me about yourself should at least kill 5 to 10 minutes of your time. At least the interviewer's time.
Okay.
Okay. So did it do?
Yeah, no, Vajra, I just said 2 minutes of the time.
Okay. Third thing, how much information have you given about UiPath?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. So guys, give me one more shot, buddy. You can do better. Give me one more shot. No problem.
Yeah, Vajra, actually, I did not prepare anything, Vajra. That's why.
That's fine. Give me one more shot. Tell everything that you know in UiPath. I'm ready to listen.
Okay.
Go ahead, tell.
Vajrang, in real time, just now I'm learning the UiPath, Vajrang. So I did not
See, if this
complete.
is in an interview, if this is in
Oh,
the
in interview point
interview,
of view. Okay, okay.
yes. Treat this as an interview. Tell. Your job depends on this particular interview. Go ahead and tell that.
Hi, I'm calling Raj. I'm a hardworking engineer graduate specialist in RPA developer. So I have completed RPA developer foundation and advanced developer courses in UiPath. And then I'm having 2 years of working experience as RPA developer. And then mm, that's it, Vajrang. I did not prepare any.
Okay, for what you have said, first thing, don't say you have completed courses from UiPath Academy.
Mm,
This should be changed like I have certifications from UiPath with advanced and with respect to advanced orchestrator and any
okay,
other things. Say that you have
okay,
certifications. Don't say you have completed the courses.
complete. Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. So the 10 minutes of the time is completed. I just want to give that time so that to make yourself aware of where you're lagging. That's fine. Can you see the screen? By the way?
Vajra,
Yes,
No,
sir.
Vajra certification means it's UiPath certification or else UiPath Academy.
Whatever it is, certificate is still a certificate, right?
Yes,
So you have completed a certificate from UiPath Academy. Even that's a certificate.
okay.
Okay. So here today we are trying to complete. So yesterday we have moved item to or moved our code to different environment. Is it right?
Yes,
yes,
Okay. Now today we are going to see how the testing will be done. So this was requested by our team member Priyanka. Sorry, Pratyusha. So she wants this. So this I thought that maybe that's what something that's lacking, which I haven't covered. So let's go ahead and cover it. Okay. Now for every code that we develop, there should be some testing to be performed to ideally understand what we have developed and are we matching or are we able to complete the requirements or not. So I want each and every one of you to come to this document and prepare test cases for me. So what is test cases? First thing, if I think Kaling is already into testing or testing, right? Kaling, you are into test engineer.
Ah, yes, Vajrang.
Now you explain what is test document. What will be there in this test document?
From automation side or from manual side, Vajrang?
Anything with respect to testing, what should we test?
Okay. Now, first of all, we will get the requirement from the HLD document, Vajrang.
Hmm?
And then we will create the test cases with the positive
Mhm.
test cases and the negative test cases. And then we
Okay.
will give the test cases to the team so that they will verify and then we will do the testing with it. Regression, sanity, or anything according to that.
Okay. So let me just also write the, hope I can open this in the browser. Let's just see. Hmm. Open in browser. Run Excel. Let's see if we can open it. Guys, you too can open this. This is in week 3 folder. Okay, I'm not able to edit it. Okay. So I'll try to write the notes over here and then later I will move. Okay. So Word document. Okay. Now we are going with testing. So testing can be done at multiple stages. So during development, okay, then after development, after moving code to different environments. Okay. So see here, during development and after development in the sense, this type of testing can be taken as, okay, during development, we will do 2 types of testing. First thing is unit testing. Second thing is integration testing. After development, whatever we are trying to do, that will be either regression testing or UAT. You can say SIT, system integration testing. So Kaling, if I'm saying something wrong, you can definitely stop me and ask questions since you are into
Yeah,
testing that.
yeah, okay.
Okay. And we will also have UAT. Maybe you can check UAT in the next stage after moving to different environments. So here we can have 2 environments. First one is testing environment, UAT environment, prod environment. So we will not do any testing in prod. We will do testing in testing environment. Okay. So this testing will be done after development. It means that yesterday I have given code to test it or to execute and see. So I moved it to different environment altogether and I asked someone to run the code and see if the code is executing or not. Okay. So that is done by which team? This is done by testing team. Okay. So there can be a code tests as well, but for now we don't require or we don't have um, that kind of broad bandwidth because we are already doing automation and with unit testing and integration testing we'll be able to identify if there are any errors. But here in this regression testing and system testing, if we move to different environment altogether, will it work or not? Okay. And we'll also see something called environment deployment or deployment. It can be done in 3 places: test deployment, UAT deployment, prod deployment. Okay. Now I'll just insert some smart chart. Let me see. Not smart chart. A chart. No, not this one. Insert what? Insert shapes. Yeah. Insert new drawing canvas. So I'll just cut this one. I'll just paste it over here. Okay. See here, insert draw. Where is I will try to use my drawing skills. Please don't mind. First thing, we'll have something called this is test and deployment, and let's also add something called UAT deployment, and the third one is prod deployment. Okay, so first thing, let's assume that we move the code into testing. Okay, now the code will fail. Okay, now will we move the code to UAT or prod, or will we send it back to development?
Sending back to development.
Why?
It failed.
So here it failed, so we are sending back to the development.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, now let's say that code executed properly. Then where should we move to? Move it to? If the code is executed properly in testing environment, which environment do we need to move to?
UAT.
Good. Okay, now in UAT it failed. Will it go back to testing environment or will it go back to development environment?
Development environment.
Okay. Now let's assume that in UAT this failed. This was successful. This is successful. Now should we move the code to production or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's assume that we move the code to production. Now here it failed. Now where should we go to? Go back to? Should we go back to UAT or dev?
I think dev.
Okay. So at any point of time, if there is any exception or if there is any unwanted execution that's happening, then we can say that the testing is failed or the execution is failed. Irrespective of what the code is, if the code is not functioning in any environment, though it completed or though we executed in the previous environment, there can be multiple cases here. Let's go back. So multiple cases in the sense, environments are not matching. Or settings files are not available. Okay, applications are not available. Okay, but I will tell you one thing. Until that is a code change, we need not move always back to development environment. Let's assume that we require Notepad, and in that particular machine or in that particular environment, Notepad is not available. So that is throwing an error. Do we need to go back to development environment or do we need to just install the application?
Install the application.
Okay, so then in that condition, there is no need for us to go back to the development to change the code. So any kind of code changes requires this particular cycle. Okay, do unit testing, do integration testing, then move code to test environment, test it, then move code to UAT environment, test it, then move code to production environment, test it. Now the question is, why do we need too many environments? Like why do we need 3 stages? Can't we just develop and move it to production? Can't we just move the code to production? Why are we testing it like more than twice?
Just whether it is able to execute in all the environments or not.
Not only that, see, now let's assume that our automation bot or our bot is approving invoices and the payments are happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this used to be a manual process.
Mm.
Now when we have automated this, let's say that for every invoice it is approving 10,000 USD.
Okay.
But because of one logic error, bot approved 1 million USD within 10 minutes because the bot is very fast.
Mm.
Now there is no way to get back that amount. Did you understand the business impact and the financial impact that it is going to create?
Yes.
So in test environment, what we will create is we will create dummy invoices. In using those dummy invoices, we will just try to see if the approvals are all the test cases. For example, if there is a requirement like, okay, approve everything above $10, everything below $10 by itself. Don't approve anything above $10. Now the exception was not able to execute and it's approving everything above, everything below $1,000 instead of 10. Now, is it a exception or not?
Yes.
Is it an error or not?
Yes.
So to make sure that the bot is executing at any point of time, we are trying to create two different environments. So before moving to production, within the two environments, we should be able to find out all the errors and try to get the things resolved. It's not only to check about exceptions, but let's assume the application got stuck and it need to reopen the application. Now with the bot code, it is not retrying or reopening the application. Is it an exception or not?
Yes.
Now if that happens in a production environment, let's say that invoice need to be approved at 10 p.m. and if it is not approved by 10 p.m., it will have a grace period of 1 hour. And if it is not able to complete a grace period of 1 hour, then there will be a penalty of $50. And it happened on a weekend on Friday evening 10 p.m. So till Monday morning 10 p.m., no one will be there to check with the bot. Okay. Now for every 1 hour, it is adding $50. 24 hours plus 24 hours, 48 hours into $50 plus extra some hours in the Friday evening. Okay, 5 5 25, it's nearly closing to 50,000 USD or 5,000 USD. Okay, now if we are able to test it prior, can we avoid this kind of mistakes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so to make sure that our execution is running properly at multiple environments, so by moving, see, production environment, UAT environment will be very similar, will be same as prod, but will be tested with minimal live data. It means that instead of working with 100 items, we'll test only with one item. We'll make sure that one item is executed. And like that, we will test with 5 to 10 scenarios, like 5 to 10 items. Because when we are testing with 5 to 10 items, we will be able to handle and check and monitor those 10 items, those 10 scenarios. because we are getting ourselves ready. If there is any exception, we are trying to make sure that the revoke is happening at that point of time immediately. But if we have an exception in the prod, that will be unattended bot, or that can be any kind of transactions that's happening on machines, then we will not be able to control it. Okay, so that is the reason we definitely need multiple environments. Now coming to testing here, see, test cases will be written either by business analyst or test lead or developer or team lead. Business analyst will create items in a way, for example, if a file should be moved from one location to other location, and if the exception, like if the file type is not text, then it should throw a business rule exception. So this is what a business analyst can think. So what a developer will think, let's assume that there are no files, or the file is already open by someone in a shared folder and the bot is trying to use that file. Since it is already opened by someone in a shared folder, it is not able to move the file to a different location. Now, how the bot should react? Should the bot send an exception email? Should the bot just close the application and check with the next item? So these conditions developer will think and he will write test cases for that. Did you understand the difference between both test cases?
Yes, yes, Vajra.
One is functionality.
Yeah.
The second is with respect to the execution, how the bot should work. Okay. Now, for that reason, this test document can be created by multiple members, but ideally this will be created by tester along with a business analyst and a developer. Okay. Now this should be approved either by test lead or solution architect. So solution architect role, he will be to check if each and every, like he should be able to verify if all the test cases are available and if they are correct or not. Okay, so once that is done, this test document with all the testing scenarios will be sent to users. Now here, this is test case IDs, and this will be maintaining in a sequential manner just to make sure that this particular test case is approved or not, we can mention. So this is a sequential representation, you can say. Here we are taking the test scenario, test case, precondition, test steps, test data, and expected result. Okay, so now let's see what is this one, and let's try to, this is on RPA samples, but let's try to write our test case by ourselves. So we'll write it with file management system. Okay, this is test case, or you can also write test case underscore file management system underscore 001. So this is my ID. Like this, I will increment continuously. Okay, now test scenario. Let's assume that the first test scenario is file must be moved from input to output folder. Okay, so scenario is something like this. Move file successfully. Successful file movement to output folder. So now the test case and the precondition is, so what is the precondition? File must be available in the input folder, right? input folder. And the second thing that it should do is adding date time must be completed. Okay. So how should we test this particular item? First thing, add one input file into input folder. Add file into input folder. Test data is the input folder, input file, whatever test data we have. Expected result, file must be moved. File movement must be successful. Okay. Post condition is file moved to output folder. Now, after execution of the bot, is it successful or failure is the final status. Actual result, let's assume that file movement completed. Okay, so is the status success or failure? Success. Now, let's take the same. Test scenario is throw BRE or move file to exception folder. Okay, precondition is, what is the precondition that we need to have? File with invalid or file with extension without txt must be available. So what are the steps? Again, the steps are same. Add file to input folder, add input file. So this is still same. Expected result, file must be moved to file, move to exception folder. Okay. Post condition, verify file in output exception folder. So now the actual result is, instead of moving the file into exception folder, file not available in exception folder. So now this is the actual result. Yesterday we tried, when I'm executing, because of the incorrect folder path, it stayed in the input folder with exception as the file name. Did you remember?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, this particular condition, is it successful or failure?
Fail.
So this is a failure test scenario. So after completion of all the testing, there should not be any test cases that should be in failure state. Okay, so this is positive test scenario. Let's also add a negative test scenario. Okay, this is the negative test scenario. Okay, negative test scenario is failed. Now, in this same negative test scenario, here this moved, file moved to output folder. This is done, and file moved to available in output folder. So now, is this successful or failure?
Success.
One more condition. Let's try. In txt file, add date time in txt file. Precondition, input file must be text file. Notepad must be open. Notepad with file must be opened. So what are the test steps? What should happen? add input file to. So only one thing, add input file, text file in input folder. Test data is input file. Okay, expected result is date, current date and time must be added. And save. So post condition, what it should do, save file and close. Close notepad. So it should also match what is the post condition, actual result. So now what happened? It actually completed date time entry, did not close notepad. Okay, so this is the actual result. So is it a success case scenario or a fail scenario?
Failed.
Now, in the next item, it was able to complete. Okay, so now this becomes a success scenario. Now tell me one thing. Are we doing it manually or are we doing it with automation? The testing, are we doing it manually or with automation?
Manually.
And is the tester checking the code or is he executing it from either robot or orchestrator?
Orchestrator.
Orchestrator or UiPath Studio, or sorry, UiPath Assistant as well. Even that will work. Tester should not open any code if he is not a code tester. Okay, because he should must see the execution only, nothing else. And the license also will be with non-prod license only, not with developer license for a tester, non-prod execution license. Okay, so like this, if we can write, so for any kind of you can say any kind of project, there can be around 50 to 100 test cases or even more. For every file, we can make a test case. We'll also see some other example. So what is the previous project that we have done that we tried to do?
Pega open
Pega use
span
case.
things, yeah.
So in that Pega use case, so there can be something like extract store details. Okay. Now precondition is store details page must be open. Okay. So this is test case for code. So we are testing only this code and this condition, precondition, store details page must be open. Test steps is scrape all data. Write it to Excel. Okay, so test data will be data table in Pega application. Excel file with store details. Okay, post condition expected result is this one. So post condition, post action also you can say. So see, this format need not be the same. I have created this format from online. You can also create it, or you can also change it as per your requirement. Okay. Save file and close notepad, or this can be like uh, move to extract beverages. Post condition, navigate to beverages. Okay. So here, bot was able to execute everything, but while navigating to beverages, it failed, and it did not move to beverages. So is this scenario a success scenario or a failure scenario? Remember that till expected result, everything is successful. Expected results is also successful. Sorry, is it a success scenario or failure?
Successful.
No, it is not successful. Though it completed the expected result, post condition failed.
Okay.
It's a failure scenario. Okay, so where it should fail and why it should fail also we need to see. Navigate to beverages failed. Though it extracted everything, it should also move to navigate to beverages. It did not happen. So it failed. Understood? Yes, no, all right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Please tell. Okay, now in the interview, there will be few questions on this, and let's try to work on them. Yeah. So this is my team notes. Here is my values. I'm just trying to add these values back. Undo. Boom. Sorry. Design draw. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, I'll just move it to this particular item. Sorry. I'll move it to till here. I will create deployment over there later. So yesterday's video is yet to be updated. I will upload. Did you verify the video links that are already shared?
Yes, Vajra.
Are we good with all the links?
PD was not there.
Yeah, sorry.
PDD, what we discussed about PDD video is not available here.
Do you know the date and time?
Actually, I don't know. I think,
Just try to get it.
okay. And one more thing here, 7 has to change to 8 Vajra, 8th day. 7th video has to change to 8. 8 has to change to 7.
The seventh video should come to 8 and eighth video should come to 7. Is it right?
Yes, yes, Vajra.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay. And eighth video, I'll take it and I will move it to, oh, sorry. There are too many things that happened all of a sudden. Yeah, let's do it later, or else you two can do it. No problem. Just add it. But what I will do is I will add review track changes for everyone. I'm just adding track changes for everyone. So any changes made, I can track them. Okay. Now here. Uh, so that's the reason I just want everyone to be on one line and just validate them. Because after completion of 1 or 2 weeks, if you ask me where are these videos, it will be tough for me also. And it took around 2 hours to get that item. Sorry, track changes of approve the changes. Okay, so here we are done with the testing. Okay, now let's also check with deployments. Okay. Now the important questions or interview questions that you can expect is, tell me about your test cycle. Or how will you do testing? Okay. So what will be your answer for this? Go ahead, answer, please. At least try to answer. You may be wrong. I can correct you, but at least try to give some pointers.
After moving the code to testing, we'll check the requirements and we'll write the test cases. So based on the test cases, we'll test the code.
So if I am a developer and see, you should tell everything on the fly or everything on a bird eye view. But if they ask you in detail, you should be able to answer them in detail. This should be done something like this. So there will be multiple stages of testing in our project. Well, with respect to unit testing and integration testing, I'll be doing that during writing the code and while creating the code. Unit testing is for each and every file or each and every XAML file that we create, we will test it. And how will we test it? We will test with the functionality. Since I'm writing the code, I will test if the code is working or not. And integration testing, since if I add this code, since I am not the only person I will be working on this code, I will also have my team members and we will be working on GitHub repo for code management. So we will see while we add their code on hold or if on a complete project, will the code is the code working or not? Or integration testing can also be said as I will test with multiple workflows in my project if they are correctly executing or not. Now coming after development, we will have three stages: a testing environment, UAT environment, and a prod environment. In the testing environment, either we will have a bunch of data. For example, there can be around 500 items, which is given by the business, and they asked us to test it. So we will execute the bot in an unattended mode, and we'll test if the execution and the results are matching or not. This is one way, but there is also a tester in our team. He will also be able to check with their edge scenarios. For example, if the file is not available, an input file is not available, whether our code is able to execute it, whether the exceptions that are mentioned in the documentation, are we getting exception emails or not? So all these can be checked by the tester if there is a tester. But if the tester in our team is not available, we will be able to see it because we have the documentation and we will be able to follow. And the third stage is with UAT stage, and we'll move the code to UAT or UAT environment where client will be available and we will be able to, or he will be able to execute the code, and we will guide him or her if there are any exceptions. For example, we have created a bot to place to execute or to take files from one particular folder, and if the client is not able to understand it, And if we placed it on a different folder, we'll be able to guide them. So this is UAT testing, where we are trying to see if this is working in a client environment or not. So these are the three versions of testing, or these are the three levels of testing that we are developing. Any kind of error that we have, we will either create an issue or a bug in the GitHub or our VSTS. Okay, so how much time did I speak? Did I speak for around at least 1 to 2 minutes or more than that?
2 minutes.
So at least 2 minutes, right? But see the content that I have given. I did not tell that I will be doing testing or I'll do some testing. So I did not give a vague answer, basically. Okay. I have given in detail explanation about what's happening at every stage. So when you're saying at this level, then will an interviewer have a question on whether you have experience or not? Actual experience or not? Will he have that question or will he continue with the next question?
Continues with next, other things.
Next question, whatever it is. Okay, so in an interview, you should kill interviewer's time at the max, because if the interviewer is interviewing you, he will not allocate hours together for you, right? It will be around half an hour to 1 hour at the max. If you already know that you need to talk for half an hour, you should at least take first 10 minutes of time to talk only about yourself. So to do that, what should you prepare? Please tell the answer for this. So to talk for long, what should you prepare?
Transcript actually.
Exactly. A transcript must be prepared. Okay. So let's stop it for today. But were
Vajra,
you? Yes, Satish,
can
tell
you
me.
please open the document? What is put that here? I just come down. Here I can't understand. Come down, Vajra.
Yeah.
Third stage with the UAT stage, we'll move the code to.
Let's recheck the video. Maybe I spoke it multiple times. That's the reason it entered multiple times.
And
Just
here enter
recheck
the
our.
IT. And here IT.
Which one?
Go to you.
Oh, that is UAT, I think. It's by mistake 80. It is showing as 80.
Yeah. See, please at least do those corrections for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I type in all this thing, then I would have taken more than 10 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm a too slow typist. Okay, just recheck. See, even in our transcript, we will have a lot of spelling mistakes or non-grammatical words coming in between. But those are live recordings. So that will give you a clear idea of what you are telling, if you are telling it correctly or not. Okay, so can you close the screen share? Satish, is your query answered?
So tomorrow we see about deployment.
Tomorrow you will be?
We'll be seeing deployment.
Deployment is already done yesterday, if you observe. Other than that, you will not have anything else in the deployment.
Okay.
Okay. Now, your task for tomorrow, or what we are going to do tomorrow is, in the mini projects, I have created 2 projects, right? First one is take files from input folder and move it. So we did it. Now tomorrow, scrape a website, create items to orchestrate recurrent performer, write details in Excel. So this is what we are going to do tomorrow. But I'll not be doing that. You will be doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so I will also give you one URL where you can execute or extract. COVID report. Okay. Tracker. I'm just trying to find if there is any table. COVID. Dashboard. Just a second, please. Yeah, just a second. Key tables, 2 minutes. I have comments.
Okay, bye.
Okay, let's do something with Bollywood. Indian movies. 02. List. Okay. Okay. Let me give you this one. This will be easy. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once you're able to see it. Can you see the items?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to IMDb and best Indian movies of 2022. This is what I have searched. So I will give you this URL also. And this will help you to directly go ahead and navigate. Now you need to extract all the items. Okay. But if you see here, these are like random values, like 70, like 7.9 and all. My requirement is simple. I need to create an Excel. So this is extract all values, extract all movies along with rating and add items to orchestrator queue. Okay. So there can be multiple ways how we can do this. But let's say that I will filter out all the items that are with 7 with ratings. Like there are 75 items, right? So I need to have 8 items at one sheet, 7 items in one sheet, 6 items in one sheet, and whatever it is. This can be dynamic. There can be 4 also. Okay. So every item with 7 ratings should be in one sheet. Okay, so this is my requirement. So this can be a dispatcher reading all the items and adding it to orchestrator queue. In performer, you can take one item each and you can check with the rating and add it to respective sheet. Then it can be only one workbook. Understood this particular use case or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I need everything. See, this is the important part. End-to-end implementation I need. I just don't want your code. I need your PDD. I need your SDD. I need your documentation, as is process, to be process, how you are moving the code. Along with the code, I need all these things. And today is Wednesday for you, right?
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 3 days. By the third day, I need to have reviews from everyone. Though we will discuss some topic, maybe we'll discuss on orchestrator or anything, but the first 10 to 15 minutes will be a scrum call to check your status.
Okay.
Okay, so let's create it. But if I want to make, I can make this interesting as well. Okay, so let's make it more interesting. I'll make you into teams. Okay, so please give me the names. I will just try to write them. Krishna Sai. Sorry, I will just add it in the Excel. That will be easy for me. Excel workbook. Team division. Okay. Please tell your names and how much UiPath experience you have.
Pratyusha.
Pratyusha. Okay. How much UiPath experience do you have? At least 1 or 2 months is fine. You need to tell that.
Yeah, 3-4 months.
4 months. Okay. Next one.
Chetan Bhatt.
Chetan. Okay.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years into UiPath.
Yeah, 3 years in UiPath.
Okay. So Chetan, tell me one thing. Are you learning something new in this program because you are already working with around 3 years, right? So is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
you
Basically, yeah, correct. So I have previously have done automations and all, but it was not like they're very simple, and also I didn't follow any best practices. So I learned best practices here, like RE framework and all.
okay? So this is definitely useful for you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next after Chetan.
Satish.
Sorry,
Satish.
Satish. Okay, Satish, how many years of experience do you have?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, next.
Murali Krishna.
English.
Murali Krishna. Okay, Murali Krishna, how many?
5 months.
5 months. Okay, next.
English. Hello.
Anvesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many months or years?
2 months.
2 months. Okay, next.
Kalingaraj.
Kaling. Kaling. Okay, Kaling, tell me.
Yeah, 1 month.
1 month. Okay, next.
Krishna.
Vishnu.
3 months.
3 months.
Krishna, not Vishnu.
Krishna, okay. Murali Krishna, not Krishna. Okay. Krishna,
3 months.
3 months. Then anyone else remaining? No, right? So Chetan,
Yes, yes, Vajra.
you are not a developer. Remember that.
Yes, yes.
I'm giving you teams and you need to make them work. That is your work. Okay. Pratyusha and Anvesh is one team. Satish and Kaling is second team. Murali Krishna and Krishna. Both Krishnas will be in third team. And you are a leader for all the 3 teams. I don't want you to develop.
Okay.
Okay, understand. Leading is completely different from development. You need to monitor a lot of things. You need to monitor best practices. You need to monitor documentation. You need to monitor development. Everything you need to do.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
don't go with, I don't want any single code. I don't want you to even open UiPath Studio. Okay, that's not your task. Okay, team 1, Pratyusha and Anvesh, Sadish, Kaling, team 2, Murali Krishna and Krishna, all the best. And see, the project is simple. Here we are not trying to create very fantastic code and it will take around 1 or 2 months. But the idea is, are we following all the steps for a project or not? That's the main intention.
We
Okay.
need to, Vajrang, everyone has to develop from end to end, right?
Every team has to develop end to end.
Every team. Okay, so
Okay.
we have to decide who is doing what between us.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need
So,
to talk. You
Vajra,
need to
can we split the task like
Yeah.
team 1 can do development, team 2 do documentation? Because
No.
No. Team 1 end to
Mm.
end. Team 2 end to end. Team 3 end to end.
okay.
Okay.
I just need to compare how good you are creating documentation, how good you are writing code. Everything I'll compare.
Okay, Ashram.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you are not able to do that, don't come next week and say that I want one more end-to-end project. I'm literally scared because of previous teams. So that's the reason I'm telling these too many times. Don't worry. I will always explain you. But the idea is for you to implement and try to learn more than I sit and explain you. Okay?
Okay, Vajra.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best teams. Wishing you all a great success with your new projects. And my dear team leader, your task is to talk to teams and make sure the collaborations are happening. And one last thing that I will do, is the screen still shared?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Notepad. Okay. Goes in chat. See, we will be able to, in the chat, you can add multiple teams or add multiple members. So Chetan and Pratyush, sorry. Chetan will be there. Chetan should be there in every team. And me, Chetan Patel. Sorry, what is this? CK Patel, right?
C27.
What is that? C27 Patel. Okay.
27. Yeah.
Yeah. Chetan and Pratyusha. Is it right, Pratyusha? Anvesh.
Yes, sir.
Anvesh. Hi. So this is August 2022, team 1. Okay. In the same way, go ahead and start with the chat, and other members also just add Chetan and me to the teams. Let's do it now. Let's complete it. One of you can do it. One of the team member can do it. Have that collaboration right from now. Satish and Kaling, one of you can create one more team. Add me and Chetan. Murali Krishna and Krishna, one of you can create a team and add me and Chetan. It's a chat. Don't create teams. Don't go to teams and create. It's a chat always. Click here on the chat, new chat option, add members, and then do it. CK Patil is Chetan's. My name is Vajrang. So you can search with my email ID and add me. I'm just waiting. Enter hi. So only after that I will be able to talk, or I will be able to see your conversation. And don't keep WhatsApp groups separately, because that will actually divide, or that will actually eliminate. It will not give you the correct way of communication. Because in the organizations, we will not communicate over WhatsApps, right? With respect to code or anything, we will do it within Teams. Follow it. You asked for actual environment, I am giving you actual environment. Now follow it. Team 3 done. Team 2, Team 4. Rename it. Culling is from which team?
Yeah, team 2 has
Update it. So Chetan.
Yes, yes, Vajra.
Your task is to give them deadlines on when they should complete what.
Okay, okay. Yeah, got it.
Demo must be on Friday. So today and day after tomorrow, what they need to complete and how they need to divide the team. Talk internally. You can talk. I'll leave the meeting. I'll stop the recording. All the best, everyone.